How many of you have heard of care quality? How many of you have heard of National Health Information Exchange? How many of you believe that clinical information moving from point of care to point of care for the purposes of treatment, the purposes of payment operations is incredibly important to healthcare? Okay, now I got you. All right, now I got you. All right, I'm not going to try and convince you that I know a ton about the payment integrity world. I do know that clinical information is incredibly important for what you guys do. It forms a foundation for appropriate payment, audits, and making sure that we're also monitoring for fraud and abuse. I also know that largely, where there may be some digital information exchange, those workflows are mostly manual today. And it results in significant inefficiency for the payer side, inefficiency for the provider side, and quite frankly, missed opportunity both for appropriate coding and payment, but also for fraud and abuse. So I'm going to talk to you about National Information Exchange for just a second, and I'll probably talk for about 20-25 minutes, and then I want to open it up to an interactive discussion, see if I can answer questions for you guys around the space. I'm not intending to make you experts in National Health Information Exchange, but I want you to understand the landscape because you guys are going to play a bigger and bigger role in this landscape, and the landscape's going to play a bigger role in serving your needs on the payer side significantly. So I use this term, the inevitability of necessity of national exchange. And the reason I say that is this. I left what I did as a clinician, as a health system executive for 16 years, because I believe there is nothing more transformational than the exchange of clinical information at the point of care for the purposes of treatment and payment operations that will happen in my lifetime as a healthcare professional, whether as a clinician or whether as a health system executive or a health tech executive. And I say that, and those are big words, but I say it because there will be advances in gene therapy that will affect millions of people. There will be advances in cancer therapy and cures for cancer that will affect millions of people. But nothing will have the scale or impact of having the appropriate clinical information available at the point of care. Happens every patient, every visit, every time. Matter of fact, I would say it's hard to have a safe care environment without having an accurate or complete medication list or an accurate and complete allergy list, let alone all the other components that we talk about. Payment and operations is one step away from the clinical need for clinical information. And quite frankly, I consider payment and operations, if I think about it in Lean Six Sigma verbiage, a lot of it's rework, right? I mean, the fact that we go through charts to make sure the clinical information is there to support a particular claim on our insurance, well, if the information were there and documented appropriately, we probably wouldn't need that in the first place. It'd be much more streamlined to do that. So consider it rework. So if we can get the information flowing up front freely, where clinicians have it, it's ingested into EHR, it makes everybody's job easier, both upstream, downstream, in terms of improving patients. Why do I say there is an inevitable necessity of national exchange? The U.S. healthcare system is incredibly complex, probably one of the most complex in the world, and it's this crazy mix between free market and government influence, right? Through regulatory controls, but also because the government happens to be the greatest purchaser of healthcare. There are only two people that purchase healthcare in this country. Do you guys know who they are? I'm in a room full of payers. This is going to be really offensive, I think. You guys don't buy healthcare. You don't. You don't buy healthcare. You guys move the premium from the purchaser to the provider of healthcare, right? We, the taxpayers, purchase healthcare. We do it in three ways. We do it when we pay part of our premiums through our employer. We do it through our tax dollars that get funded for Medicare, Medicaid budget, and the VA system. And we fund it through our co-pays and our co-insurance and when we go in to actually see the doctor. The other purchaser of healthcare, who's that? No, our employer, right? Our employers. Our employers pay the lion's share of our premiums in many cases. That's changing. It has changed over the last few years. But really, employers and you are the people that pay for healthcare in this country.